All right, we're going to start off. It's been a little while since we've done. We're going to do 3 of these. We're going to start off with Parasyte, the Maxim, and then we're going to do Fate Stay Night, and then we're going to talk about the Akami Got Killed manga. All right, which is chapter. It's episode 12, and then chapter 55. All right, now I'm just going to say right off the bat that I think Migi, the Parasyte, the one that's on the computer all the time, I think he is the boss. I think that little son of a gun is the actual mastermind of what's going on. I think he understands human beings a lot more than the other parasites, and I think that's the big, the big secret or whatever. In my opinion, it's really him that's the boss.
I mean, he's definitely smarter than Shinichi.
Yes. Yeah, and he, like I say, he's been on the computer. Well, I mean, he's smarter than the other parasites, because we've just seen him feed and try to do this, and they're not too brilliant. But right off the bat, this guy's been on the internet, learning about human beings and how they work and all this kind of stuff. And he's been telling him, he's like, well, first maybe it's just this and that, or maybe they're just setting up a safe place for them to feed, right? I think it's him. And but anyway, I mean, in this, the big thing was the girl getting killed, and what really sucks is the pairing. That was the pairing that I liked. So the pairing I liked just got brutally killed.
I mean, Kana is just way prettier than Murano, and Kana's, I don't know, she had a nice dynamic with how she started out, like, as a gangster, but like her feelings for him kind of put her on the path where she wanted to just be his girl or whatever. So it was kind of, it's sad seeing her die, but from the very beginning, he was in love with Murano, and that's just how it was. So.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't like that one is she was always kind of iffy with him. So I never saw it on that side of it as far as pairing. So I never saw her real interest, and she was just kind of interested, when he physically changed. So
yeah, that's the funny thing. The funny thing is how she was so distraught by how he changed, and yet it was that change that made her more, womanly to him. And it's just funny, and interesting.
Are you really, his name anymore? Are you really, still the same? It is funny, the dynamic. It distresses her because he's changed, but he's now a bad boy and she's attracted.
Right.
So there we go.
That's exactly how it goes.
And the only reason I wasn't upset, because quite honestly my pairing was brutally murdered right in front of me, was that it made sense, because it was like, and even Migi said it was going to happen eventually. She just kept pushing her luck, So
yeah, I mean, she should have listened to him. She should have played by his rules and tried to see if she could get in that way, but by taking it all upon herself and trying to prove to him that they're connected, she just put herself in way too much danger, and that's just what she gets from her own stupidity, really.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And so but also, let's be perfectly honest. Part of what I like about this is I go and I'm like, he got her killed. He should have stayed away from her, period. And even the other girl, Murano or whatever, he should have stayed away from her. But this guy, just like we saw what happened with his confrontation with the mother when she got changed, he can't deal with this stuff. And I actually like that. I like the idea that you can clearly see that he isn't making the right choices because his personality, he just can't do it. He's still overwhelmed. He's still changing. I mean, he's still part, Parasyte. And the whole thing, going back before this, the whole thing of his superpower. I love it, and it's simple, but the whole thing is kind of his superpowers. The more powerful he becomes, the less human, right?
Yeah.
I love the dynamics of that. I absolutely love this series. I've had a really good time with it so far. But anyway, so what about the 12 or the whole series or whatever you want to talk about with Parasyte?
There's a good dynamic between, his humanity and his parasite DNA, because that's what it is. He's a human that has, I don't know how many pieces, but he's got Migi's pieces accumulated in his whole body, because as you know, the heart pumps. Not only does the heart, take in blood, but it pumps blood to every part of the body. So every part of his body has some of Miggy's DNA infused in it, which is why his hearing is better, he's stronger, etc. And it's just really cool how he acts like he has no emotion. I mean, he doesn't act like it. He has no emotion. He's unable to cry.
Right.
But yet, when people die in front of him, you can see his humanity. That's when his humanity comes out.
Yeah, it seems like he's, if anything, is humanity slowly returning. It seems like whenever he does get traumatized, some portion of that comes back, but he's still, partially, parasite. So.
Well, there's two points it looks like that he's human, and one is when he's with Murano, because he smiles with her, he tries to sound friendly and not dull, and like for example, like this episode when he was walking with her and they were talking about going to the movies, he seemed like he was perfectly normal.
Right.
And then the other time is when something terrible happens, and that's when he loses it, and he wants to cry but he can't. But you can see his emotion in the way that he takes out his anger, or the way that he just anguishes, and pretty much anger is the most common used emotion that he uses. But I just would say like he's a really good character because he went through a lot, with the whole situation. So it's not just that he's also a parasite. You got to think about the psychological aspects of what he's been through, and what he's got to live with, an alien on his hand, and possibly considering himself not human anymore. Like all the psychological aspects of the show is really thought-provoking and provides a great character dynamic, I think.
Well, let me drive home everything you just said. His mother. He couldn't. The reason that he's in this situation, as you well know, is because he couldn't kill he couldn't kill a parasite that looked just exactly like his mother. He was incapable of doing it. Right. He would see the scar on her hand, which was her from protecting him from the burning stuff or whatever that was falling from the stove, and so I mean he just couldn't do it. So he got killed, and Miggy did the thing, as you know, and brought him back. And the way they explained, they said, look, we can divide up, and we give a command when we divide that they have to rejoin, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when these things are so small, what happened with his heart and everything, then they can't rejoin. So it's interesting for us to go, okay, where does this go? Now he's got these little teeny pieces of parasite floating all around his body that are autonomous, right?
Right.
And so we don't know where that's going to go. What I've been waiting for is for somehow Miggy to become something to happen where Miggy becomes more human, mm-hmm. right, or something in some way. I haven't seen anything yet. But part of the beauty of the story has been Miggy's been such a parasite. We talk about, people, and
yeah, I mean they do a pretty good job of showing Miggy being like, I can't think of the word right now, ambiguous maybe.
Yeah.
In terms of like, is he really just saving Shinichi because he, thinks it's logical? I mean, think about it. He could have jumped from Shinichi's body into that other parasite, and he could have lived that way. When that parasite made Miggy the offer, like,
right.
You can come join me right now and ditch that guy. You won't die. So they make it very ambiguous. It's like, maybe Miggy really isn't, completely uncaring like he makes himself out to be. Maybe he is slowly changing as well. I mean, you saw how he threatened to kill Kana, but then as soon as Shinichi told him that he already told Kana when he was sleeping, he was like, all right, I'll go along with it, and I'll talk to her. So I think Miggy puts up a little bit of a front, and wants to look more menacing than he actually is, because he's logical. He's
right.
He deduces that the best way to do things would be to take this path, and in order to ensure that he does, he makes threats, but when push comes to shove, I don't think he really, goes against Shinichi. He doesn't want to make Shinichi his enemy, and he's very receptive to what Shinichi wants. He goes out of his way to adhere to Shinichi when he has to. So.
Now, I thought this was a really top of the line. It's doing something. Now, you've seen way more anime than I have, but it seems like it's doing something different, right? In this anime, it's kind of, I don't know if it's breaking a whole lot of ground, but it's telling a different story, and I like it. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's an internal story, really. Like, this whole anime is about like struggling between who you are and the decisions that you make, and just coming to grips with being human, basically.
Exactly. And then what is in contrast to a perfect parasite that only cares about itself. So all the other aspects of our humanity comes out, and even Migi's like, well, why are you doing this for this person? Well, it's okay. You make no sense to me. I don't understand it. The parasite's literally that's one thing. Another part of the story that's really, really good is Migi just says, I don't understand why why are you helping this person or why you're doing this, So it's really, really good stuff. All right, was there anything, we can go ahead and switch over to Fate Stay Night if you don't mind. Is there anything you want to close out with that, or?
The female parasite, I think her name is Ryoko, the teacher.
When pregnant? Yeah.
She's like one of the best characters in the show because she's a parasite that actually wants to coexist with humanity because she doesn't want her existence to be, snuffed out. She knows that eventually if they keep fighting humans, that, they're in the minority. The parasite's number what? Maybe a couple of hundred?
Yeah.
And they have no way of reproducing. The child in her stomach right now is a human. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. How about the dialogue that she used when they talked about that, though? Oh, maybe I'll, run experiments on it or eat it.
Yeah. And she's a good character, though, because she's a contradiction to the parasite. If you see, many of the parasites don't agree with her. There was an episode where, they were like, can we really, trust her, or can she, they were suspicious of her.
Right.
There was that one episode. And the reason is because she thinks more human than she does like a parasite, because she's trying to not segregate herself as a parasite and segregate herself as a human. She knows she thinks she's a parasite, but she wants to be more. She wants to be a creature that lives and a creature that logically can get any situation. She's fighting for her existence. Whereas the other parasites, they're kind of just like, oh, we eat, and that's what we do. And she's like, well, that's not good enough for me. I don't want to just eat. I want to ensure my survival, and I want to make sure, the best of the best happens. So.
Yeah, so she was still trying to be a teacher. And it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
but
she's a great complex character because she almost just like Shinichi. She's kind of trying to figure out what is it to be human or what is it to be a parasite. Both. So it's good.
Right. Yeah. And that's probably, it's going to be her. We're going to find out more, maybe about the humanity, especially if she's got a person, in her. But this series was, if I understand correctly, the manga was done in the 90s, if I understand right. So this thing was done, this is already done, and it's in the 90s. So this is complete something. This is a 90s throwback that now somebody's found and brought up and made it to an anime, and I'm just enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So there is a manga, but like I said, this is an old series. It's like 20 years old or whatever. So it's pretty amazing.
It's
crazy.
What's that?
No, I said that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good series, and I'm glad that an anime studio picked it up because it deserves to be animated. It's really thought-provoking and emotional, and pretty action-packed. Can't go wrong with Parasyte. It's good.
All right, and let's see. I don't want to try not to go more than another 30 minutes here, but let's go ahead and wrap up. Okay, Fate Stay Night. Okay, now was there anything you wanted to say about Parasyte before we go? I mean, that was it, or?
I'm done, man. I mean,
Okay, excellent. Okay, we can move on.
Yeah.
Fate Stay Night. Okay. Now, I want to get just real quickly. There's a series of different stories. This is what Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, and they have different. It's the same characters but different outcomes, different
Right.
things happen in the stories, and there's a whole bunch of different ones.
From what I understand, there's the Fate Stay Night, the original Fate Stay Night anime, which I think was from 2003. That has to do with Saber's routes, which means like Shiro and Saber are more romantic in that one. And there's also the side thing of Sakura, because if you're watching Unlimited Blade Works now, you see Sakura is just like this, school friend or whatever, the sister of that guy that controls one of the servants. I forget which one it was, Assassin or something.
Right.
Whereas in the original Fate Stay Night anime in 2003, Sakura is like a slave to her family, and she's forced to be the bearer of all these insects and stuff, and they torture her body and rape her and stuff. It's crazy. But and she's one of the I think she's Berserker's master in that anime. Whereas in Unlimited Blade Works, it's about Rin, her story more, Shiro's relationship more with her, and also more about Shiro becoming a badass hero. Unlimited Blade Works. I'm not 100% sure about Heaven's Feel because I haven't played the game or whatever, the visual novel, so I'm not too sure on that. But I think that's more to do with Saber and her quest or something. I'm not 100% sure on that, but either way, yeah. So right now we've got two adaptations. We got the the first Fate Stay Night anime about Saber and Shiro's relationship mostly, and Sakura being like the master, and then we have this Fate Stay Night about Rin and Shiro, and that's only the Blade Works. What we're watching right now.
Now I was from what I've been told, Fate Stay Zero happens first, but it's better to watch Fate Stay Zero after this.
I mean, I guess that makes sense to watch it after this. I watched it first, and I don't feel like when I started watching this that I was like, oh, I should have
problems. Okay.
Yeah, I should have waited. If anything, just feels like a continuation.
Yeah, so I'm gonna finish watching this, and then I'm gonna go watch Fate Stay Zero.
I gotta say too, if anybody's interested, Fate Zero, the entire season is on Netflix. So if you want to watch it, you can watch it there.
Nice.
Yep, and Fate Zero is a lot better because in Fate Zero, you have to remember that Saber is fully powered up, because Emiya Kiritsugu is her master, and he's a full-blooded mage or whatever, so she's way stronger in Fate Zero, and the battles are way more intense, I feel. And but both series, Unlimited Blade Works and Fate Zero, they both look amazing with the
Yes, they look awesome.
Yeah.
The animation, everything is just through the roof awesomeness. I have to say, they do look great, and I like the characters, and I love the fighting in here. I really am very happy with the fighting. Okay, now as far as in this episode, and they're not all like 20 minutes. Like this episode was what, 47 minutes long?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, oh man, I'm never gonna finish this in time.
Yeah, I had the same problem. I had to go like 5 minutes over, with the hangout and looking at this at the same time. So yeah, just to watch the whole thing. So this was pretty good. Anyway, go ahead and get kind of through this. And like I say, we'll just cover it a little bit here, because I kind of want to move on. But 47 minutes. The character development, as far as the pairings and as far as this stuff, it's pretty interesting. It holds your attention, but when they fight, it's awesome. And as you said, it does look good all the way through. I don't know what they're doing differently as far as Fate Stay Night, but I wish all animes looked like this.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're just really dedicated to making Fate Stay Night look amazing. Like every episode has so much care put into it. as opposed to, I mean, if you think about the original Naruto, you know, the animation, no, the animation was good,
Yeah.
right? But then remember when we saw the first boat fight, like how amazing the boat fight looked, like those episodes, the animation on those.
It was uneven. Even during one episode there in W Order, you know, in Naruto, some parts looked great, some parts looked like they were just
Yeah,
shoved in there somehow.
I
So,
remember everybody praising it, but
yeah,
anyway, the point of the matter is that Fate Stay Night is, you know, it's every episode looks amazing, and they're dedicating themselves, the studio, to making that the motive, you know, behind that series. So hopefully, when Heaven's Feel comes out in probably a couple years, they'll make that one look amazing too. So
yeah, this is pretty good stuff. This one, like I said, it was 47 minutes. It held my attention. It wasn't like I didn't really feel like skipping because they kept, you know, it was either developments as far as characters with each other or the fighting or whatever. So I'm pretty happy with that. And
yeah,
I like it, well, and so there's a dynamic here because they're allies, but they have to win to get the Grail, you know, and so you know how far they're going to go and this and that. I like it. It's a very good series.
what I like about Unlimited Blade Works is I like both Rin and Caster. Because I think, like, look how Caster just breaks the mold of a villain.
Yeah,
Like, she refuses to follow the rules. Her noble phantasm is an ability that bypasses the rules completely, and you know, completely cheats. And you know, she's just been doing everything, you know, completely smart, setting up a barrier for her base, and you know, uh, killing people and taking their mana so that she can, you know, be the most powerful and stuff. So she's got a lot of complexity, I feel. And she's just been a really great villain. And, you know, I really enjoy the relationship with Rin and Shiro. Like, I feel like Rin is, you know, got kind of conflicted between her duty to her family, you know, to be a master and get the Grail, but at the same time, she definitely likes Shiro, and she tries to cheer him up and stuff. And it's just a nice dynamic going there. And Shiro kind of annoys me. You know, like he does things. He's got this naive idealism, which is a part of his
yeah,
character. But I mean, like you know, this episode, he says no when Saber was fighting, and because he said no, the command seal on his hand made Saber hesitate, and that hesitation was enough for Saber to get stabbed by the rule breaker. And that's why, you know, he lost Saber, because of his own stupidity
yeah.
and, you know, his indecisiveness and whatnot. So he's not a main character that you want to get behind. He's kind of like, he pisses you off.
He's too naive. He's way too soft-hearted. He's too good.
Yeah.
He's literally too good of a human being.
Right. And that's not going to change. He's not going to change that way. The only thing that's going to change is that he's going to get, you know, better with his weapon, you know, his magical ability to make weapons instantly, you know, make them very strong with strengthening magic and whatnot. He's going to get better at that and become a, you know, a pretty strong warrior in terms of holding his own, you know. But that's pretty much it. He's never going to change with his idealism and the way he views things and his annoying. Even his voice is just like a whiny, annoying voice. You know, I can't get behind Shiro. I really can't. And Saber is a lot more docile in this one.
Yeah.
You know, when the Blade works. And she's just kind of like, you know, the friend that just hangs around Shiro because she's loyal to him. And so really, the things that stand out for me in this series is Caster and Brent. And I think that it's good that, you know, that in one series this will stand out, and then in, you know, in another Fate Stay Night series, you know, other things will stand out. You know, so that's good.
Well, if you want to go ahead and finish it out on Fate Stay, and then I'll go ahead and segue into our manga, Akami Got Kill. So.
Well, I mean, I mean, that's just the best thing about Fate Stay Night, Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, you know, is that it looks great, and it is a lot of action, and you know, there's some strategy involved. Like in Fate Zero with Kiritsugu, he had some crazy strategies with his magical bullets and stuff, and how he, you know, made Saber have a fake master, to trick his enemies and stuff. That was really cool.
Right.
And and Shiro is unfortunately not Kiyotsugu. He's just a whiny little brat, but it's still cool because there are other good characters in this show. And like I said, it looks amazing and great fights, so it's highly recommended to watch Fate Stay series. Good stuff.
Yeah, really good. I really like the fights. The characters are very good. All right, good segue. Talk about an awesome villain. Esdeath. Akami got killed. Akami got Giru or whatever.
Yeah.
Giru.
It's Akami got killed, yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, yeah.
If you want to say it Japanese, it's Akami got Kiru.
Okay, yeah, because that's normally I have to find it in manga.
Yeah.
Chapter 55. Now I want to just, like I said, I want to wrap this up in another 15 minutes. So I don't want to. I'm going to open this up and try to close it. We'll see how successful that is. I hated what they did in the anime. After watching it and then reading the manga, they left out way too much. They left out important things, and they mangled the hell out of the. Okay.
So you're all caught up now, right? You read the entire manga.
Oh yeah. Because it's only 55 chapters, so
right.
And I think so it was very easy to catch up, but so it's pretty much the same, I guess, till episode 18, and then it all starts going to hell. But
and I gotta say, the anime did a great job on those 18 episodes. It was a great adaptation. I felt like it looked amazing, and I enjoyed it, every second of it. So.
And then it did. I mean, like I say, it was. I can't even think of a good example. Sometimes you don't know how bad you've been ripped off. Now you deal with a lot of anime and manga. Sometimes you don't realize how hard you've been ripped off until you go read the manga, right? Yeah. This was horrible. This is horrible. But anyway, like I said, I'm trying to get past that because this could definitely be a long conversation. Mm-hmm. Okay, now the manga. I love what's going on in the manga. This is so much better, and 55 was so action-packed. It's freaking ridiculous.
Yep.
This is good stuff. And then the series is going to end, which isn't really a surprise because it's only there's only 1 or 2 chapters coming out a month anyhow.
Yeah, 1 chapter every month. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that big a surprise, but they're going to finish it out. And it looks good. But so I would suggest people just read the manga. Or watch through episode 18 and then go to the manga or whatever if you just want to do that route, or just go manga. But pretty good series. I like I say, I really like the manga, and as far as fights and characters, that's the best to me. That is really some really interesting powers and stuff in there. Just really good, and the characters make a lot more sense in here than they do in the anime. So definitely big in the manga. I like it. Yeah, but I mean, there was so much fighting. The characters are so much more in depth, and right now the action is just through the roof. And Esdeath is the Madara that we wanted in Naruto. The irredeemable villain, the irredeemable, super powerful villain. Just wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful.
She's just plain crazy. That's just how it is. She's not.
Yeah. She's irredeemable. It's not. She's not going to get taught ninjutsu. She just, that's been tried. Doesn't care. She wants to keep fighting strong opponents and keep fighting forever. She doesn't care if the whole planet is engulfed in flames. She couldn't care less as long as she's having fun fighting.
And as long as she has Tatsumi. Let's do one other thing. That has her weaknesses with Tatsumi. Like, she was going to spare his life, and pretend to make it look like he died, and she was, and she has, like, she'll love to fight him and stuff, for whatever. But in the end, she wants to be with Tatsumi. It's like the one, like, thing that is really hard about her character is that, like, she's so evil, and she's so, sadistic and gruesome and everything under the sun. But she has love for Tatsumi, and it's really weird about her character.
Well, she wants to possess him. I wouldn't call it love.
Nah, I think it's supposed to be love because.
Okay, you're gonna go love. I'm gonna go possession, but okay.
Yeah, no, it honestly, I mean, if you saw that anime episode, I know it's filler, but it was pretty. It was pretty on in her way of dealing with Tatsumi, that she would fight and she would kill and everything, but you know, I don't think she would kill Tatsumi because yes, she wants to possess him, but at the same time, you know, that feeling of it goes more beyond possession and more into romantic feelings, even though she's never had those feelings. I thought that was the one good thing the filler actually did was show as that's you know her resolve at the end there when she died. But I don't know, that's just my opinion. I think that's going to be her one flaw, and that's going to be like the chink in her armor, you know, the Tatsumi thing.
Well, I think in the anime, maybe I'm going to pull this out of the horrible part of the anime, but the whole thing about, you know, when he died, she was going to take his body. so I just take a more twisted view on that whole thing. But as far as, and also the like I say, the Buddha, whatever, the guy, the main warrior shogun kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he's good. He's so much better in the manga. Well, they all are. All the characters really are.
Yeah, I mean, look at the mine. When mine in the manga, mine busts through the wall, blows open the entire wall, and declares by herself that she's here to rescue her boyfriend.
Right.
And every shot that she fires in the manga is deadly. Like Esdeath has to avoid every single one. She swings her gun around like almost like a blade of light. Esdeath is dodging like crazy, and you know, and then every shot with Budo completely counted. You know, her one shot was able to counter. In the anime, she fires the weakest little shots, like, you know, until that one point when she fires that one shot.
And then she overloads everything at the end, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just pathetic. Like, her character's pathetic in the anime at that point.
Right.
And you can compare it with her anime fight with Seiryu. I mean, look at how she fought Seiryu in the anime, and then in, you know, a couple episodes later, how she fights Budo, and you're like, what the hell? Like, what a downgrade, you know? This doesn't even look remotely decent compared to that fight, you know?
Yeah, so, it was horrible. It was horrible. I got ripped off.
The manga has just some great characters. Like, everybody in the manga seems to be more fleshed out, and they have, you know, they're much stronger and more badass. And, yeah, just way better than the manga.
Yeah, like I say, it's enjoyable. It's only 55 chapters. People can catch up. You know, I mean, it doesn't take that long, you know, to catch up. And this series is going to be over 20. I don't remember if there was a year, 2015. They said that it's coming. It's not that far off.
Yeah, I imagine probably he's going to want to finish it within 5 months. I'm going to say.
Yeah. So we're pretty close, but it makes sense. It could be pretty close. That'll be interesting. So that's going to be good. That's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. This is good. Now, is there anything else you wanted to talk about as far as the 3 series that we covered so far?
The only thing I could say is, you know, these are anime that should be watched. Akami got killed, you know, for 18 episodes is amazing. The Parasyte, the maxim is, you know, thought-provoking and, you know, emotional and a great story. And, you know, Face Day Night is just eye candy. It's eye candy with some great action scenes and, you know, some good characters in the story. So these are all must-watch animes of 2014, I feel. And, you know, anybody who's listening, you should definitely watch them and enjoy them.
All right, excellent. Now, okay. Oh, James left because I've been tabbed out for a while. Okay, all right. Well, we'll go and close it out. I appreciate everybody for watching, and W Order for watching this stuff, Sean for hanging out with us and having some fun. And until next time, take care.
Peace, guys.